If you're looking to become non-dual or achieve some sense of non-dual awareness that non-duality is talking about, then you should know that you're a complete failure. And before you get mad and turn off the video, at least hear me out. I'm Russ Rapp, and this is my YouTube channel where I talk about non-duality. And full disclosure, this was my intro. I did probably, 10 to 12 takes because it's relatively early in the morning, and I'm still kind of warming up. So, but I wanted to get the intro right, so I should have done it after the video. The key word is should there. So what I wanted to talk about in this video is this idea of non-duality, or achieving a sort of non-dual awareness, or letting yourself drop away and becoming some sort of ideal of what non-duality is teaching. And this is my first take. This is going to be my only take, and hopefully it goes well. As you can see, it's actually a really beautiful environment that I'm making this video. It's different than all the ones that I've done before, for the most part, except for, I just want to point out, there's a garbage can with a t-shirt on it. So it may seem idyllic, but like with everything, nothing's perfect and everything's perfect. So non-duality, the reason why I wanted to point out the fact that you're a failure at non-duality, because we're all a failure. I mean, in a sense, I'm projecting out my own inner feelings onto this video. But why should you hear this message at this point in time? The reason why I wanted to say this is because I think with non-duality, with anything, it can become some sort of precipice or mountaintop, or ultimate goal that you want to achieve, where you're reaching some state of bliss, or you're attempting to become this idea of perfection. And that's where I feel like we always fall short of that, because there is nothing that you can become, there is nothing that you can achieve when it comes to non-duality. And that's a big reason why I like talking about it, is because with any other practice, with any other hobby or thing that you do, you're always wanting to improve. And so you follow those that have come before, you idolize people that are good in the field that you're trying to be better at. And so there's always a way to increase your skills. There's always a way to get better. There's always a way to grow. But with non-duality, it's different, because there is no non-dual guru that somehow understands non-duality better than you. Non-duality is just what is. It is everything that you see or don't see. It's not something that you can have and hold over other people, essentially. And so, as you see the environment in this beautiful morning, I don't know what time it is there. It doesn't really matter, I guess, because time's irrelevant. It's an illusion, right? But the interesting thing about sitting here in this moment, if you've seen some of my other videos, you've recognized that it's a different environment. And so what does that point out? The obvious, that things change. There's been a lot of change happening in my life right now, and when you talk non-duality, you're talking about the unchanging. And so that's difficult for you to grasp, this idea of unchanging, when all you see in every moment are things changing. Things are always changing. It's never the same. And so just in the sense that you recognize the fact that this video is different than another video that I made because I'm sitting in some wooded areas behind a river, or in front of a river, that you recognize that, hey, this is different. And so then it becomes, well, if things do change, then there's something I can get better at. There's something I can improve on. And if I watch enough non-duality videos, if I meditate long enough, if I open my heart to love, if I study enough, if I learn about anything, if I follow the right teachings, then I'll somehow be this non-dual master, or my life won't have problems anymore. I won't have stress. And in kind of preparing for this video, it's been a few weeks since I've made one, and a couple nights ago I remember having some good ideas going. I watched a video from Laverin. I think I'm saying that correctly. It's L'Averin. She does really good videos, and it's a lot of the kind of scientific aspects of reality, and sometimes I have difficulty understanding, wrapping my head around it, because it's simple but it's complex. And one of the things she was talking about is this idea of kind of waveforms, and having the center point, the 0 point, and then having everything is energy waves. And the reason why I want to bring that up, because I think anytime you have the high peak of the wave, there's always the corresponding low peak of the wave. And anytime you have something manifest in reality or exist, there's always the opposite of that. And that's kind of what non-duality is pointing to, is this idea of interconnected opposites. But I was thinking about this the other night and kind of running through how I wanted to try to explain it in this video. And the interesting thing about it is it's not exactly coming out how I had envisioned. A lot of times in my videos I say things and it's like, in a sense, unscripted, even though I've been thinking about it in my head, but it never quite comes out how I imagined it to. And some other non-dual videos that I've seen from people, and they talk about this idea of almost like a meditation idea of your losing your thoughts and no longer thinking, and why, now that I'm in non-duality, this in quotes, now I'm a non-dual master, so I don't think anymore. I don't think. Everything's in the present moment. Everything is now, and so there are no thoughts. It's just a clean. It's a look at the water back here. It's just like super peaceful, just serene, placid. Just, it's beautiful. And that's the non-dual master's mind. But in reality, as human beings, we think in thought forms, we think in words, so we communicate. And so, when you think about not having thoughts, is that saying that you no longer can construct sentences in your mind without saying them out of your mouth? Because right now, things are coming out of my mouth that, I'm hoping makes sense. I'm hoping gets a message across that communicates to you on the other end. But at the same time, I can sit here and think thought forms, think phrases, think ideas, and think abstractly. I can make mental pictures, and that's the beauty of being a human being and having our neocortex and having our higher level thinking. And that's not a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with thinking. I think that a lot of times people can maybe think too much or focus too much on something where you get that sense of contraction, and that's maybe what they're kind of talking about. Because when you have an open mind, it flows and contracts. I'm not going to explain that very well. But it doesn't really matter, I guess is what I'm saying. And so the one thing I wanted to say as we're reaching close to 10 minutes here is that think about it in this way. Think about it in the terms of like conditions, or like when you're in school you learn about conditional formats. So if-then statements, being a condition. So in this case, if I meditate long enough, I will somehow achieve non-duality. If I follow the right teacher, then I will be non-dual. If I lose myself, then I will become a non-dual being. If I stop thinking, if I let my emotions flow and not try to hold on to them, then I will be non-dual. If I believe a certain idea, I will be non-dual. And anytime you have a conditional statement, it's basically saying that you are not something and that you can achieve something down the road. So if I do this, then I can get this. But with non-duality, there is no condition. It's unconditioned. It's unconditional love. It's there. It's accessible at all times. And so I made this video. Well, I have another idea that I'm going to make actually a second video. It's a really cool idea. I hope it goes well. But there's perfection in imperfection, and probably if I watch this video back, I'll be like, wow, there was a little bit of rambling going on, but I hope I got my message across. You don't really have to understand non-duality and get that aspect. You never will. You're a failure in the sense that you'll never achieve non-duality, but in that case, it kind of begs the question, well, why does it matter? Who cares? Why worry about non-duality if I can never achieve it? And that's exactly the question you should ask yourself. So until next time, which is going to be in a few minutes here for my next video. So watch that one. It's going to be through the looking glass of non-duality. Peace.